Hello and welcome to YCFT and welcome to our final part of this Pet Sematary project. We are talking about Pet Sematary Bloodlines, released straight to Paramount Plus, I believe it was last year, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this film.
Sigh. Yeah.
I didn't know what to think going into it.
It
didn't get good reviews, but no Pet Sematary gets good reviews.
Yeah.
I had seen people online that enjoyed it. I'm like, okay, I saw the plot revolves around Timmy Bateman. It is a prequel to 2019 Pet Sematary that didn't show any of that. Well, the nemesis of the sun has come back.
Return.
So I was like, oh my god, we have a film revolving around that story. Great. Then I saw the name was Bloodlines, and famously, horror films with Bloodlines in the title. Oh god, I'm thinking Day of the Dead Bloodlines, there's Hellraiser Bloodlines. I'm like, I don't know what way my mind's going here.
Yeah.
I saw the Blu-ray and I was like, I don't know if I want to drop 20 quid on a Bluray for this one. Yeah, it revolves around a young Judd Crandall.
Yes. We did Jackson White.
Jackson White. Very good looking man.
Yes.
Does not look like a young John Lithgow though.
Does he hell?
Facially probably looks a bit more like Ed Gwynn.
I know what you mean.
Norma is actually a character in this film.
Guys.
Oh my god, who's she played by?
Natalie Alyn Lind.
Who's the sister of the actress from the Chucky TV series, isn't she?
She's the sister of Lexi in real life. And so, and obviously in the Chucky series, the actress that plays them, the mum, is the real life mum of Lexi. So yeah.
I love that acting family. Timmy Bateman obviously dies during the war. In this timeline, it's Vietnam, not World War II, like the book.
Yes.
So in this story, they don't know that he's dead. That his dad, played by
David Duchovny,
which is great casting. I always love David Duchovny whenever I see him pop up in things.
Yes.
He tells everybody that he came back honourable discharge.
Yeah.
The film basically opens with him burying his son in the Micmac burial ground and him coming back.
So it's like, what, 1969?
Yeah, he also buries his dog. Yeah. And then he starts doing, like in the book, seems to get under people's skin, doing a few strange things.
Yeah. But again, this Timmy's just returned from the Nam. Timmy's probably going through some stuff.
That's what a lot of them think. A lot of them think that it's just the war's had an effect.
PTSD.
Had an effect on them.
Yeah.
On paper, this story
is interesting.
And that's when I heard they were doing a prequel, I'm like, okay.
Interesting place to start from.
Interesting. What's the name of the director again?
Lindsay Anderson Beer. This is her first directing credit.
In the Pet Sematary world, there's actually been more female directors than male directors.
Love to see it.
And I will say this, for her first film, I think she does a pretty good job. It's framed very nicely. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Decent pacing. And I hope that she gets more projects after this.
Oh yeah.
I don't feel like I'm hiding it very well. I did not like this film.
No.
It follows my trend for Bloodlines.
Yeah, it could have been the one that changed it.
I think the biggest crime that this film had for me is that it's boring.
Yes.
It is so...
That's fair.
Boring.
And you know what is such a shame? There's a strong cast that is involved here. And from the origins of the film alone, i.e. Timmy coming back, Bill Bateman, his dad, not being able to deal with it, burying his son. That's interesting. It's an interesting point that we take our movie from. And the film didn't deliver. And on top of that, we've got some really, really good actors here.
Yeah, Henry Thomas plays Judd's dad.
So we've got,
Not Henry Thomas.
Henry Thomas is Dan Crandall. This is apparently his fifth Stephen King project as well. I knew 4. I didn't know the 5th one. I can't remember what it was called. But
a side plot of this is the Crandalls are part of, they're related to the founding members of the town of Ludlow. With a few other people who have been guarding the secret of the burial ground.
Yeah.
One of the actresses is quite famous, isn't she?
Oh, Pam Grier.
Yeah.
Is that who you're thinking?
Yeah, from she's in Blackula, isn't she?
She's in Scream, Blackula Scream.
Yeah.
But Pam Grier, she was a very famous blaxploitation star from 60s and 70s times. So yeah, that was cool.
That was cool.
Underused, as is pretty much everyone.
Henry Thomas underused. David Duchovny criminally underused.
We also have Samantha Mathis in this movie. And she was in Salem's Lot 2004.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the character. I'm blanking on that. But, you know, the
Yeah.
the one female character, main character in Salem's Lot. So this is, you know, her... I actually don't think it's her second. I think, was she in The Stand? She's done a few Stephen King projects over the years as well. So, yeah. Nice little...
It's a good cast.
It's a good cast.
The young actors especially are trying their best.
Yes.
And it all revolves around drafting, so... There's a lot of side plots about maybe Judd's dad has paid the doctor to say that he's not fit for the war, so he's going to be joining the Peace Corps with Norma, so he can still like go and help. But really, whenever the draft list goes up, he's been passed over again. So I don't think he really wants to join the Peace Corps.
No.
It's the 4th time I've been skipped over.
Well, you can thank your mother for that. All that praying was just good after all, huh?
I don't think Bill Baderman did his fair share of praying. We are joining the Peace Corps.
Peace Corps?
Mm-hmm.
Well, God never did call a Crandall's number. We're all the same. You enjoy your peace.
So they'll be leaving town. His parents really want him to leave town.
Yeah, they're desperate for him to leave.
Yeah, which surely then making him go to war probably would have got him out of town.
Yes.
But
dangerous,
war,
but
obviously,
yeah.
like the Vietnam War was a very controversial war for America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we also have some Native American characters like related to the Micmac tribe.
Yes.
Manny.
We have Manny. Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the other character.
His sister Donna.
Because we do have flashbacks of the founding families of Ludlow.
Yeah.
Why does none of this work?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, all right.
I know.
So, story-wise, the different threads, there's no... Judd's dad stopping him from going to the war doesn't really go anywhere. Timmy and his dad, Bill, don't have a ton of scenes together. The idea that the town doesn't know that he died is interesting. They do have flashbacks to show the founding members. They went there, they send Ludlow ahead, an actual person called Ludlow, to scout out Micmac land that they can build on. And they discover the burial ground where he's been buried and he has now come back. And they decide to still set up a town nearby, and they name it after Ludlow to remember their sin.
They named the town Ludlow to remind them of their sins.
Why would you build a town anywhere near that place, knowing what it does? But also, you've set up characters that were related to the tribe that moved on. Again, Wendigo, they're not even...
Nah, not mentioned. Don't think it is.
This would have been the perfect time to bring in. They really could have lent in on the tribe side of it, on why they left. Because you've got those one-day characters as well. If you're going to flash back to that time, show us that. But they just don't. I got excited. I was like, oh my god, it's a flashback. Oh, this is pre-Ludlow.
Yeah.
And I was bored. You know, I said Norma's a character in this film.
Oh,
Barely.
yeah, she isn't.
Barely. She exists. Like, oh, there's Norma. Cool. Then she gets bit by a dog, resurrected dog.
Yeah.
It's out the movie for a bit to come back to get kidnapped for the final act, to have someone for Judd to save.
Yeah.
And Judd doesn't even save her. She saves herself.
No, that's very true.
Norma did not need to be in this. I literally predicted what the final shot of this film was going to be as well.
Oh, you actually did.
I was like, Judd's going to sit on a chair and he's going to pick up a pack of cigarettes.
Okay, well, because yes, there's a lot. There's a lot that we need to chat through there.
Yep.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the biggest crime in this movie for you was the change in the law. You got to shoot him in the eye.
Oh.
So this is a problem that prequels have. They're just kind of like across the board. Don't introduce new law.
That contradicts the film that you're meant to lead up to.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And that leads to another problem.
Oh, it's all coming out now.
Yeah, before we get to the eye stuff. When Judd finds out about this secret, and they literally find out they go to the church and the priest gives them a book. That is so lazy. And that's where it leads into the flashback. I don't understand the logic of, this has been the dark secret that the town's kept. He's like, well, not very well. Clearly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
We know that Judd buries his dog there. And his dog comes back. There is no mention of that. There was also supposed to be a bull that was buried. And that's not referenced in 2019, maybe, but we know his dog was buried. So Judd should know already from childhood about the Pet Sematary, and he doesn't. They just forgot.
Your great-grandfather built that deadfall to keep people out of the woods. Me, Marge, the sheriff, Benson, our families made a pact when this town was founded.
I think it's a case of they either just downright forgot that Judd buried Spot in the cemetery as a child in the burial grounds, or the director just chose to ignore that and we're just kind of going with a new origin story of Judd.
But this whole thing, again, it's like, oh, you got to shoot them in the eye to kill them.
Since when?
Since when?
Because I'm pretty sure that's not in any of the sequels.
It's not. It's really not. And again, it treats them like zombies. When they find Ludlow, he's just chowing down. I'm like, they're not zombies. It's more complicated than that. Stop treating them like fucking zombies.
So did you not like this movie?
No, I didn't. I was bored. I was really bored.
All right, well, I agree.
Where's the main accent?
Biggest crime of all of the subsequent Pet Sematary movies, there's no fucking main accent. Again, these are characters that are born and bred in this town.
The big point is that the characters don't leave the town.
Yeah, exactly. They should all be speaking like they're from Maine. Also, and this was definitely not shot in Maine.
We heard the line, "Sometimes dead is better," 3 times.
We get it.
It's in the opening crawl, like the opening monologue. It's said by Timmy. It's literally the last thing we hear. It's like, we get it. That's the iconic phrase of the movie.
I've kind of come to realise that unless it's Fred Gwynne saying it, the line just doesn't really have an effect on
John
me.
Lithgow is the closest we get to it also being done cool.
I agree with all those points you said. I absolutely agree. Like, the film kind of gets worse as it goes on because it's apparent how nonsensical it is, how, right, we're just establishing new rules here, left, right and centre. For me, the movie lost me from the introduction of young Judd, because as good as this actor is, what was he called again? Jackson White. He's a good actor, like good-looking guy. Dashing young guy. I do not believe for a second that old Judd, whether that's John Lithgow or whether that's Fred Gwynne, obviously in this case it would be John Lithgow, because this is a prequel to 2019. I do not believe for a second that a young Judd, a young John Lithgow would act like this. I don't buy for a second that young Judd was ever walking around in leather jackets. I don't believe for a second that young Judd was ever cool.
Was driving a sports car.
That is, you cannot sell that to me in any way.
Also,
like, there is such a dichotomy there between young Judd and old Judd. And yes, I know age can do a lot. I do know that. But as soon as I was introduced to this young character, I was like, that is not Judd. That is no way is that Judd.
The events of this film do not lead up to him ever taking Lewis to the Pet Sematary.
Absolutely not.
Especially because we've not really established the otherworldly forces that influence you into doing these things.
Yeah.
What he experiences here, he would not go there. He would not. Absolutely not. But also, now there's still a gap in time where Norma dies. Between the two films.
Yeah.
And I said this while watching it, I was like, I wonder if they're just going to straight up kill Norma at the end of this. And I would have been okay with it. Yeah. Because then that's like, all right, that means this place has had a lasting effect on Judd, and that's why he's going to stay there in close proximity to it. But no, she survives. But it's like, all right, so what happens in that gap then? Yeah. And I don't think they would intend to... Well, I know they intend to do more films set around this. Yeah. I don't know if they want to slip one in between that and this one. Don't know. But...
Don't know.
I know you actually quite like Timmy.
I did like Timmy.
Didn't. I think it's more... I don't know if it's the actor. I don't know if it's... Because also the dead, when they're back, do not look... They say they don't act the same, but they also don't look the same. Mm-hmm. There's a thing where, like, their skin is also dead, so when they rub it, it kind of like comes off. And like, again, you are a prequel. It has to canonically make sense with the film you're meant to be setting up. Yes. Ellie does not act or look like this.
No, she doesn't.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
We'd like to shout out our groovy members. We appreciate everything you do for this channel and helping us grow. You guys are awesome.
It's like, do you think we're going to forget that this film exists? Saying this, I do still think it should have had a theatrical release. Okay. I think it could have made a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. A lot of effort on the director's part, and the actors has clearly gone into it. But I wonder if it was just it was either they needed content for Paramount Plus, or they looked in for, we're not really sure about this. We don't want to take a risk on it.
Yeah.
But I think it should have went to theaters.
Just back on Timmy, you're probably right. It probably should have. Yeah, I did actually like Timmy in this. He's played by a guy called Jack Mulhern, and I don't know if I was drawn to him a bit because, in hindsight, he kind of reminds me of River Phoenix from Dogfight, which I think just my brain made the connection. River Phoenix in that movie plays he's a Marine. And he's, got, like, the buzz cut and everything, and he's got his army, like, vets on and stuff. He does, in the end, spoiler, he gets, like, shipped off to Vietnam. So I think in my head, like, he kind of looks a bit like River Phoenix, so it probably endeared me to him. I quite like the performance. I liked initially in the film how when Timmy is back, he kind of does the rounds with different people that he's known throughout his life. And that's how word sort of spreads, like,
that he's a bit off.
Something's wrong with Timmy. Like, I don't think Timmy's, like...
Okay,
and Manny, I think, even at one point says to him, like, man, like, I know you went through some shit, but, like, why are you behaving this way? I kind of like that, And it also seems like Timmy initially is trying to, like, come to terms with what is going on.
Yeah.
But also, like, the movie sets up that the emotional core of this movie is going to be dad and son. Dad has literally brought his son back to life. He knows his son is dead. We should have had more scenes with Bill and Timmy. We should have had more scenes with Duchovny and his son. We didn't get that. There's like 2 scenes where they're together. And also, Duchovny comes around pretty quick to the realization, like, I probably should kill him again.
Yeah.
Because, like, this isn't panning out.
It's...
I know we differ, like, because you thought Timmy was a bit off, like, a bit wooden, maybe. I did quite like it. What I didn't like was what they did with the character, because we've talked in our previous videos, it's different. Every film treats the returned, the resurrected differently, and the motives of the resurrected. And Pet Sematary 2, it seems like the dead are really keen and eager to bury more people within the burial ground, so then there's more dead walking about for reasons we don't know. This one seems to pick up on that a little bit.
They also pick up on them wearing the mask, the animal masks, similar to this one, similar to 2019.
Timmy kills Donna, who is Manny's sister, and it's established that Timmy and Donna know each other quite well. I think she was almost like a surrogate big sister to him or something like that.
Judd, Manny, and Timmy, it's established from a photograph that they were at one point good friends.
They were all best mates, yeah.
And there's some maybe some tension that Timmy got shipped off to the war and Judd didn't.
Yeah.
And it could have been really interesting. We don't see flashbacks of them younger as friends until after the finale.
Like all of the
and
key
I
events.
don't understand that show. That should have been earlier. Because to me, Manny's not really a character in this.
No, he's not. They should have built up the friendship more.
Yeah.
And the dynamics there. That again.
Well, the fractured friendships.
Fractured
why they're fractured.
friendships, yeah.
Like maybe they had a falling out about the fact that he got shipped off.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Exactly.
Maybe they could have fallen out as he was leaving.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's established somewhere along the way that Timmy and Donna have been close. Not romantically, but there was at one point like a nice sisterly brother relationship there. Timmy kills Donna and he buries her in the grounds. Donna obviously then comes back, and then after which Timmy and Donna have no scenes together.
And Donna kidnaps Norma. When have the dead ever kidnapped?
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's like, movie, why are you introducing new lore into the mix? It's not needed.
Well, they changed the whole finale. We all know it has to end with a group of people going to the house that ends in a fire. But apparently Timmy's been digging these tunnels that lead out into the woods.
Why?
And Donna is left in a pit where it's slowly filling with water, to add a little bit of tension. But at no point does Judd make it to save her. She just gets herself out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's like either it was just a really crap trap.
Yeah.
Crap trap.
Crap trap.
I was trying to say clap trap, but it's a character in Bloodlines. To Mom, I get that. Crap trap. Or they just, when writing it, they just forgot.
Yeah.
They forgot about it. It's like, oh, crap, how did she get out of this?
So a few...
Which I do think would have been bolder than maybe Judd just didn't save her. Maybe she did. She should have just died.
Few questions there then. First of all, why does Timmy target Donna? Why does he bury her? And then why did the movie forget for them to have a scene together afterwards? Because surely he targeted her for a reason. He wanted her dead for a reason. And then the fact that we didn't get any follow-up from that is annoying.
Because we see him, like, he marks the faces of everyone in the photo, but that's Manny and Judd.
Yeah, exactly. And yet he doesn't kill them anyway. Why does Donna, when she comes back, why does she target Norma? Why does she go for her specifically? She can have pick of the crop. She goes for her. And yes, the whole kidnapping thing, let's have the pretty woman in peril, that ultimately leads to absolutely nowhere. Because, yeah, she does save herself. Judd doesn't save her. She gets out of the trap herself.
It isn't even Judd that defeats Timmy.
But why would the dead turn to kidnapping? What's in it for them? Why?
Surely, if we're based on the previous films, they would have killed Norma, buried Norma, and have Norma torture Judd.
Yeah, that is more aligned with what we've seen previously.
You know what? That would have been but also, a lot more deaths happen than what we see in 2019 when they're researching it.
Yeah.
I would not watch this film again.
I don't think I would.
I didn't expect Pet Sematary 2 to be the film that I enjoyed a lot more. Ultimately, like, when I was researching Pet Sematary 2, the big thing I saw was, oh, this film doesn't make sense. This movie does not make sense.
Yeah, Pet Sematary 2 is very easy to understand, like, compared to this one. Bloodlines introduces too much, too far down the line, even though it is a prequel. I can't... Even the flashbacks, it's like, well, this is just not... It doesn't mean anything.
You've got the native characters. Why didn't you show that side of you? You could have really set yourself apart by being the film that properly shows the Wendigo and how the tribe had to abandon their homes because it made the ground sour.
Yeah.
You squandered a great opportunity here. And I don't blame the director. There's some scenes here that are shot really nicely, and the action sequences, they're filmed like good action sequences.
Yeah.
It's the story that she's working with.
I agree, but I also think she co-wrote this.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I might have to take some of that back.
I do. I think I remember seeing her name in the as a writer.
Maybe stick to directing.
Stick to directing, Lindsay. Yeah. I don't know. Look, Pet Sematary. We've said it before. It's a hard story to adapt, and I think when it comes to a prequel, as it happens, like a lot of these movies, they start off with a really good idea, but then the rest of the movie just turns into a mess.
It's like they realised that the idea they had was too paper thin, and they had to try and buff it out with extra things. It's like, everyone knows that it has to end in a fire, but what if we had tunnels under the ground? Yeah. No.
I think there's a good movie if you'd have just concentrated on Timmy trying to like integrate back into life, and then slowly but surely kind of.
Also, just kind of remember these aren't zombies. Stop treating them like zombies.
Yeah.
This to me, Pet Sematary Bloodlines is a zombie movie.
Yeah.
The other films are not.
Yeah.
Even Pet Sematary 2, they try a bit more like zombies, but also like there's a bit more going on there. They're more like ghouls than anything. Yeah. This is a zombie movie.
I think something that is ultimately to the franchise's detriment. And of course, bearing in mind this was never destined to be a franchise, never intended to be anyway. It just kind of happened. But I do think this fact that there isn't any kind of... There's no similarity between the films of how the Return act. And I think if that was set in stone, then this movie would have treated things and gone down a very different route.
Things would feel a bit more connected.
Yeah, definitely. And also it would have, it would have navigated it into a particular direction. Whereas as it is, they kind of had free reign of what they did with the Return, with the Resurrected. So now we kind of have this bit of a garbled mess that doesn't really feel like it connects to anything.
Yeah, it doesn't quite go in the Pet Sematary 2 direction where it has a shopping list of problems, but I still really enjoyed it and had a good time.
Yeah.
I did not have a good time with this film.
No, it's frustrating because it's always bad when you're watching a movie and what could have made it better. And it feels like it's glaringly obvious.
Saying sometimes dead is better 3 times to remind us, that's the quote. Oh my, did they know what they're talking about? Oh, that one's holding a scalpel there. Oh, that's a reference to Gage. Oh, there's a truck there. References aren't going to make this film more interesting. Yeah. References just show that you did your homework, but then also points out, right, if you've done your homework, why doesn't your prequel line up with the thing you're being a prequel to?
Yeah. As I say, like, it lost me when I saw what they were doing with the character of Judd. I imagine Jude, whether that's Red Gwyn, whether it's John Lithgow, even as a kid and even as a teenager, this guy is a farmer. This guy
He's a country boy.
He's a country boy. This guy has always worn dungarees. He's never once wanted to leave Ludlow. Like, he's just known, like, my family's from this town. I live in this town. I'm going to die in this town. I don't buy for a second that Judd was ever cool or ever had any aspirations to leave.
Yeah.
So I from that moment on, I was like, yeah.
To be able to predict the finals, like as soon as I saw, like, all right, Henry Thomas is dad. He smokes. All right, Judd doesn't really smoke. He's going to sit on his porch and he's going to light a cigarette, and that's how the movie's going to end.
You called it. You literally called it.
Yeah, I'm like, you shouldn't be that predictable.
Yeah.
But to introduce the thing that, oh, you can only kill them by shooting them in the eye. It's like,
why though? Why is that important to establish?
Yeah.
Look, I also understand for a prequel, it's one of those that even for a sequel, it's like you want to hit the familiar spots so it feels like it belongs to what's come before, but you also want to subvert expectations. And I understand that, especially with a prequel, there's pressure to maybe add something new to the lore that has been established, because otherwise you just tread in familiar territory. There's no point. So I do understand the temptation to introduce new aspects, but what they did was just too far removed.
Yeah. And also, it said the movie's described for me is it's boring.
It is boring. At the end of the day, It is boring.
So you got any more notes on this one?
No.
Sometimes dead is better. Stay the fuck out of Ludlow.
Anything more to say on it?
There's very few notes to begin with, really.
Not a ton of trivia on this.
Not a ton of trivia. I don't know where it's filmed, but it certainly wasn't Maine. I'd be very surprised if it was Maine. I have no idea what Stephen King has thought of this, even if he's even seen it. For me, this is definitely the worst one of all of them.
Yeah, easily.
And it's leaving it on a sour note.
Sour.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
But you know what? We've got Pet Sematary too, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's the joy when I see a lot of when films come out that people don't like, that are like remakes, sequels, prequels, requels, and people are up in arms. Like, that doesn't take away from the films that came beforehand. If anything, you just appreciate them more.
Yeah,
so that's
truly.
What this film did was actually make me weirdly appreciate Pet Sematary 2 more, because we watched these one after the other.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it's impossible to make a prequel of Pet Sematary. I think you can. I think you could do a really decent prequel.
You start with the dog, then you show the bull, then you show Timmy. The layout that is a great 3-act structure there of showing the dead coming, because it's the same in you follow the original ones, right? It's a cat, it's a child, it's a spouse. It grows.
It evolves.
It evolves.
It exacerbates.
In this, it's like, all right, Timmy's back. Oh, apparently the dog's dead. That's back. Oh, and there's another person. There's no growth in threat of the dead coming back.
Yeah.
The original story lays out how a prequel can work for you. If you could show the bull literally running itself into a tree and everything to show how messed up it is, and that puts the town and then there's suddenly to start seeing Timmy. It could be done really well.
I think the mistake that it made, and it did sort of happen with some of the others as well, is that the temptation to make, as soon as the dead come back, they're evil. And I would prefer to see a build-up of that. Like, as you say, when they come back, maybe there's a period of when they are just messed up.
Yeah.
Totally messed up, and trying to,
Wait, it's not totally clear that Church is evil straight away.
It's literally just come back from the dead. Like, it's dealing with some shit. Its brain is not going to be working the way it used to. And I think that would be genuinely quite creepy to see Timmy, to spend time with Timmy.
Maybe just make him look because I think they tried to make him look just shell-shocked.
Yeah, but to see him physically acclimatized back to being alive, remembering how his brain works, that would be more scary than instantly just to make him evil and trying to get more and trying to kill people right off the bat.
Yeah.
So there is a way you can do it.
Yeah.
There is a good prequel somewhere.
But I think they need to put it to bed for a little bit. Like we said in our first video on this, Pet Sematary, if you really want to tell the story with everything included, make it a limited series.
Yeah.
And then you can maybe spin off from there. But obviously Stephen King, he now has the rights and he's going to shop around to whoever he wants.
Yeah.
And maybe he won't want to do. Maybe this is his favorite adaptation, and he doesn't want to do another one.
Maybe.
And I'm not sure what the rules are entirely, because I know that I don't think Paramount can do a remake, but they can spin off from a film that they've already made. That's how, and I believe that's how we got a prequel. Who knows what we're going to get next? In theory, if it got a lot of viewers, then maybe they will do another one, like they kind of plan to. But who knows? I won't watch it again, and to be honest, I don't really recommend. I don't really recommend it.
No,
if that's not clear,
it's a shame. It is a shame, but I mean, I think a miniseries is the way to go.
Yeah.
To do the book justice, and to really kind of, I don't know, to just like spend time in this world that King has created, and to get a real feel of it across different times. That is the only way I think you can truly do it justice.
So that's it. Our yearly Stephen King project is done.
Shining next year, guys.
Yeah, it's slightly less depressing. To be honest, I actually had a great time watching all about the last one. I thought it was going to be much more depressing watching
same, to be honest,
children die over and over again. But I actually had as dark and weird as that, I actually had quite a good time watching these films.
Yeah.
I have a surprisingly new soft spot for Pet Sematary 2 that I didn't know. I have an appreciation for the 2019 one, which I previously didn't like.
Yeah.
It was only the second time I watched this one, and when I watched it the first time, I hadn't read the book. So watching that after I read the book, again, I just have more appreciation for these 3 films on this table.
Yes.
And I am glad I did not spend the money on Bloodlines. I'm very glad. So, Shining next year. So in theory, that'll be The Shining miniseries, and Doctor Sleep.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that'll be quite a fun one. And maybe the year afterwards we'll do Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie I think is on the cards for sure.
Or run out ones that have multiple installments.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll do The Shining next year.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for sticking with us through this journey. Did anyone watch this one when it came out? And let me know, because like I said, I did see positive reviews for it, but by people.
Yeah.
It was on Facebook particularly, in a lot of horror groups. People are watching it. Actually, this film surprised me. I would generally like to know why you enjoyed this one, and I'm not shitting on anyone who did.
No,
people can find enjoyment anywhere.
Yeah.
I shit on this film, but now I quite like it.
Yeah.
Will my opinion change on Bloodlines? I don't know.
Don't know.
Who knows? I might get hit in the head at some point, and I might enjoy it a bit more. That was me. If you enjoy this film, that is absolutely fine, and I'm glad you can find enjoyment in it where I can't.
Anyone else seen Dogfight?
Alright, thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you next week for, in theory, if my timing's right, it's Leprechaun, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's exciting. We just lost all the viewers.
We just lost everybody there. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.